Hi, I'm Josh Denbo. I'm a consumer protection attorney. I sue banks, I sue debt collectors, I protect consumers. I love my job. Something personal. Our middle son is at the Air Force basic training right now down in San Antonio, Texas. We could not be more proud. And I want to talk about our country, and I want to talk about the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Freedom is not free, and how that's all going to affect people in the United States, the type of people that I protect. Okay, just one example. Freedom isn't free. We need to be involved in this war because as Americans, we are the greatest country in the world and the beacon of hope for democracy around the world. And what Putin is doing needs to be stopped. And we're going to do it because we're Americans, but it's not going to be easy and it's going to affect us. But the fact that we're willing to shoulder the burden is why we're great. I can tell you how Putin's aggression in the war in Europe, hopefully, I mean, this sounds terrible, hopefully only the war in Europe, but could get worse. It's going to cause a lot of problems for homeowners. It's going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of people, but I'm not an expert in a lot of people. I am an expert in some things. I'm talking about homeowners. It's going to cause a lot of problems for homeowners, particularly homeowners coming out of CARES Act forbearance or people who lost some income because of COVID and didn't get the CARES forbearance protection. Whatever the source of the problem for homeowners is going to be, this war is going to make it worse. Interest rates are going to rise for a lot of reasons, but it's pretty certain based on the sanctions that we're going to be imposing on Putin and for other things that we're going to be facing increased interest rates. And it might appear that increased interest rates are only going to affect new home buyers. It is going to affect new home buyers, but it's not only going to affect new home buyers. So look, here's the problem. When interest rates rise, right now interest rates are low. We've had a generation of basically free money. That's going to change. So right now someone could come to me with a really old loan at 8%, behind, ran into trouble. I can do the math. I can research to see what modifications are eligible for, and I can come back and say, hey, great news. I can save your home, bring you current, you get to keep your savings, and your monthly payment is going to go lower than it was before. Everything's happy. You're going to be great. Your new payment is going to be at 4%. Oh my God, it's wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's great for me. You know what? I can get paid to help somebody. It's great for them. You know, little Billy gets to finish high school in the same place. But what happens when interest rates go to 8%? All right, so the problem there is if the interest rates go to 8% and someone comes to me with a 4% loan that they fell behind, the math doesn't work. Plus, the servicing guidelines imposed by the servicers and the investors in these loans generally don't allow somebody to modify a loan so that the monthly payment is greater than the payment was before. There's some sense in that in a grand scale kind of sense, because if you can't afford the payment at 4%, why could you afford it at 8? But it's going to foreclose, for lack of a better word, a lot of people's ability to save their homes through loss mitigation, which is going to lead to a giant fight again with the servicing industry. We're going to go back to 2012, 2013, when there was no CFPB. There were no protections under federal law. It was just capitalism red in tooth and claw. It was a war in the trenches, in the foreclosure court and the district court between consumers, consumer attorneys on one side, banks, investors, the attorneys representing that side, and it was just flat out fighting constantly. And here's the thing, it's going to be that again, and you can't deal with an attorney who all they know how to do is to negotiate a modification, because the option for modification is going to be greatly reduced. So I tell this because I'm proud of my son. I tell this because I'm concerned for the world. I say this because I can do something, a little something, to educate and help people as we all struggle through the fallout from Russian insanity. All right, stay strong. I think it's going to be a tough ride.